Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for another great but big jump on here live here on this Sunday evening. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure you give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, tell your family about the channel. Make sure to share the video on all social media platforms and click that bell so you'll be notified whenever we go live. Good evening, Kevron. Glad to have you here as always. But college football, week 1 or week 0, whatever you want to call it, it's 2.5 weeks away. I know they call it week 0, but I titled the video week 1 because it's still week 1, and I've said this multiple times here on the channel. I don't know what you call it because they don't want to change week 1 away from being week 1. I get that, but just make week 0 week 1 and make week 1 week 2 and so on, because you can have 9 or 10 football games and tell me that it's week 0 because 0 means nothing and there's games going on. So I just have a hard time calling it week 0, so I still call it week 1, but they officially call it week 0, so whatever you want to call it is 2.5 weeks away. So we're going to talk about that coming up in a couple of minutes because it's approaching very, very quickly. But before we do that, let me say I had another great time last night at SWA Wrestling in East Denali, Georgia. We're there on the second New Blood champion with Dynamic Dexter winning the belt. Now, we're building up to Fightmare. That's in October. Always our big show of the year. It's our WrestleMania. So we only have one more show between now and Fightmare in East Denali, which is Saturday in September, which I believe champion. And then earlier today, just ended about a half an hour ago, we had the Iowa Corn 350 powered by Ethanol, and Ty Gibbs picks up the win, followed by Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Josh Berry, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, AJ Allmendinger, William Byron, and Austin Dillon. Now, only 3 more races until the playoffs start, and Denny Hamlin has all but clinched the regular season championship, which will give him extra points come playoff time. And the next race is this upcoming Saturday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time from Richmond. We have the Cookout 400. Now, on to tonight's main topic, which of course is college football. On Saturday, August 29th, where I will be in Seneca, South Carolina for SWA Wrestling, we have about 8 or 9 football games. So I wanted to go ahead and tell you the over-unders in each game and which team is picked to win each game. And then I want to give you what I think is some interesting stats and some interesting numbers and some interesting facts that most of you probably don't know. And it concerns the 2 coaches that are coaching against each other in the actual first game of the college football season, which is coming up on Thursday night, August 27th. But since it's not an FBS game, nobody is talking about it. But I want to talk about it. I love looking at interesting stats and history when it comes to teams or coaches and things like that. But let's talk about all the other games. First, the first game we'll talk about is the first game I'm talking about because it's the first game of the day. Starts at noon Eastern Time on Saturday, August 29th. We have a rematch from last year, and surely to God, the game will be a little bit closer this year. It was awful last year. If you remember, North Carolina got the ball first and went straight down the field and scored with ease. And you thought, okay, this North Carolina team under Belichick may be better than we think. This should be a good game. And after that, it was all TCU. TCU won, I want to say 51-14, if memory serves. But this year, the over-under is 48 points. And TCU right now is picked to win by 7.5. Now, I get these numbers out just for entertainment purposes. I don't bet. Never have. Never will. I'm not a bettor. I enjoy football too much to bet on it. But I get these numbers out for entertainment reasons. And if you are a bettor and you want to jump on it, you can go ahead and do it. But I don't bet. And then we have USC and San Jose State. USC is picked to win by 38.5 points. Now, that's a lot. San Jose State, I want to say, was 3-9 last year. And I think this will be the best team USC's had under Lincoln Riley. But 38.5 points is a lot of points. But the over-under is 59.5. And then NC and Virginia are playing. And this over-under is 54.5. And Virginia's picked to win by 5.5. Virginia last year had a really good season, and I believe they have just as much talent this year. But the one thing I think is holding the Cavaliers back is I don't like their quarterbacks. I don't like the guy that's supposed to be the starter, and I don't like the guy that's going to be the backups. I don't know who you go with, but I think either guy's going to hold the Cavaliers back. Wouldn't shock me at all to see NC State win that game. And then we have Jacksonville State and North Dakota State. This will be North Dakota State's first game as an FBS member, and they're actually picked to win by 7.5, and the over-under in this game is 48.5. Then we have Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan, and this will be Sacramento State, I believe, first game as an FBS team. The over-under on this game is 53.5. And Eastern Michigan's picked to win by 8.5. And then we have Stanford and Hawaii. Now, Hawaii used to be really good. I haven't really, as of yet, got in depth on their roster this year. But they must not be any good because Stanford's picked to win this game. And Stanford's only picked to win like 3 games. So Hawaii can't be any good. But the over-under on that game is 50.5. And then we have Florida State and New Mexico State. Florida State's picked to win by 31.5. And the over-under on this game is 52.5. And then we have UNLV and Memphis. And Memphis has a first-year head coach, and they pretty much just about have a whole new roster from last year. So we have no idea how good or bad they're going to be. But UNLV was really good last year, and Dan Mullen's still their coach. So I expect the Running Rebels to be really good again this year. But UNLV has picked to win this game by 5.5, and the over-under on this game is 58.5. But the first game of the college football season is a game you can't really find over-unders on because it's not an FBS game. And most of those betting websites and all those kind of places don't get involved with college football games that aren't FBS games. I'm guessing they can't find enough people that would bet one way or the other. I don't really know the reason. That's my guess. All I know is most of those betting places don't get involved with college football games that aren't FBS games. So you're not going to find a lot of talk about this game or over-unders on this game or picks to win this game. But there's a lot of interesting facts about this game. Thursday night, August 27th, which thanks to my man JJ over on the YouTube channel Greenville Sports Media, I will be attending this game in Greenville, South Carolina, from Paladin Stadium at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We're going to have the Furman Paladins playing host to the Anderson Trojans. Now, this is only going to be Anderson's third year of college football. Not a very far drive from Anderson to Greenville. But this is an FCS school, Furman, against a Division II school in Anderson. Now, the interesting things about this game is Furman's head coach is Clay Hendricks. And Anderson's head coach is Bobby Lamb. Now, Bobby Lamb used to be the head coach at Furman. He resigned in 2010. Now, Furman had a lot of down years before Bobby Lamb came. And when Bobby Lamb came, they got really good. And then when Bobby Lamb left in 2010, they had a few more really bad years until Clay Hendricks finally took the reins of the program. But interesting about this game is that not only did Bobby Lamb used to coach at Furman, and now he's at Anderson, and now Clay Hendricks coaches at Furman, but Clay Hendricks is from Commerce, Georgia, and Bobby Lamb was born in Augusta, Georgia. Now, the first two times these guys met was 7 years old, Pee Wee football, when their teams played against each other. But then because Bobby Lamb's father, Ray, was also a head coach, by the time they got in high school, they were playing together, and Clay Hendricks and Bobby Lamb actually played together and won the AA state championship at Commerce High School in 1981. So these guys have known each other for a very, 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 very long time, and they're both 63 years old. Now, Bobby Lamb resigned from Furman, was away from coaching, and then went to Mercer, and Mercer had been awful at football for like 72 years. And then Bobby Lamb took over, turned them around, coached there for a few years, retired, thought he was gone and done for good, retired for good. And then Anderson announced they were going to start a football team. So Bobby Lamb has been there since 2024. He's 8-20 in his first 2 years, won 3 games in year 1, 5 games in year 2. I expect them to win probably about 7 this year. He gets a little better each year. Bobby Lamb is a program builder. He'll build Anderson into a powerhouse. He'll make the playoffs with them. And then he'll retire. And this time at his age, he might be retired for good. So if you look at Bobby Lamb's overall coaching resume, he has 120 career wins, I believe. But that's because he doesn't stay anywhere long. He goes to programs that have had downtime, builds them, makes them good, and leaves. And at his age, and with Anderson still being an upstart program, I expect him to stay there probably 3 or 4 more years, and then I think he'll retire for good and turn the program over to, the winning continues. But Furman and Anderson is the first game of the season coming up on Thursday night, August 27th, from Paladin Stadium in Greenville, South Carolina. Furman will host Anderson, and I'm sure you can easily probably say lifelong friends, Furman head coach Clay Hendricks and Anderson head coach Bobby Lamb. Known each other since the age of 7, played together at Commerce High School in Commerce, Georgia, winning the AA Georgia State Championship at Commerce in 1981. And Bobby Lamb's father, Ray, was the head coach in 1981. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Bobby has a nephew named Trey, who is the head coach at Tulsa, if I'm not mistaken. Now, that's complete memorization. I could be wrong. That's not written down anywhere. But I believe Trey Lamb, who is Bobby's nephew, is the head coach with the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. So some fun facts about Furman head coach Clay Hendricks and Anderson head coach Bobby Lamb as they prepare to kick off the college football season coming up in 18 days on Thursday night, August 27th. Any more thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our Dad joke of the day in here. I heard about an almond-only diet, but I think that's just nuts. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over. Count of three. Tell your friends and family how much